Yo, yo, what's going on, my people? This is Mojo,
This is Daniel.
and this is the car ride home. So, this is a podcast about us talking about movies, and we decided to call it a car ride home because what you do after a movie is you talk about it on the way back home. And it only makes sense because it's a social thing. You know, we think movies made for a social purpose. You see a dope movie, and the first thing you want to do is tell your friends and family about it. You're like, yo, you got to watch this movie. And so, this whole podcast is us talking about movies and just nerding out over them, what we liked, what we didn't like, what would be better, stuff like that. Some of the fun facts, what we love, the DP, all of that stuff. So, this is what it is. We're talking about the movie here. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you don't, hey, we kind of don't care. But so yeah, so strap on your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. This is the car ride home.
We're in the car, we're talking on Discord because our generation is on our phones all the time.
Straight up. So yeah, Danny, if you want, you can introduce the movie that we're going to talk about today and then tell the people a little bit about it.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about the movie Sugar from 2009. This is a movie basically about a man who comes from the Dominican Republic to the States to come play minor league baseball. And the reason I chose this movie was because it's one of my favorite movies for personal reasons. I connect to it a lot, and I came across it because um, the directors of this movie, Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden, they directed Captain Marvel. And before that movie came out, I wanted to kind of research their filmography, and I went through all their movies because I didn't know who they were. Like Ryan Coogler, the guy who directed Black Panther, I knew who he was. He did Fruitvale Station and Creed, but these guys I didn't
Fire.
know.
Yo, so what's interesting, Danny, is that I knew about this movie, and I'll be honest, Danny was the one that chose this film. I still haven't seen it, and I loved it, bro. This was a good choice because one, I'm Dominican, and yes, we're good at baseball, and I don't know why, but this movie basically talks about that, bro. And it's a really good movie because it shows the pressures and sort of the stereotype of young Dominicans, like their way out of the hood, out of the barrios, is baseball. They all want to be, the next Robinson Cano and Sammy Sosa and Jose Reyes. So what's interesting about this is that I did a little bit of research on Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden, and they said that they did this movie mainly because they found out that each MLB team, which I think there's 30 or 32 or something like that, has a camp in Dominican Republic. And these are like farm systems. So they get all of these poor kids, they gather them up, and they slowly rise through the ranks. And a lot of them do not make it, and the very few do. So that's kind of what this movie's about. And it shows the harsh reality and the pressures of all of these Dominican kids wanting to go to the MLB, but the struggle to get there. So as a Dominican, I relate to this movie, and I can say, Danny, that is really authentic, like the slang, the words that they use. Like to me, I was cracking up because that's really how we speak. Like Dominicans talk so funny, and it was spot on, bro. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Um, Danny put me on, and it's fire. So I guess we can move into like a question that I had for you, Danny. So what is one of your favorite things of the movie, and then what is one of the things that you thought could be better or you disliked?
I think my favorite thing about the movie is like going back to what you said about like the authenticity. Like that's part of why I connected to it because like it's very um like I connected to it. I the characters in the movie are Dominican. I'm Puerto Rican, and the cultures are very similar, and so it just kind of like took me back to like spending time with my family. Um, but yeah, I think that would be my favorite part of the movie. I think if I were to change anything, um, it would probably be more of a focus on the culture, even though it has a lot of focus. A lot of the movie takes place like in the States,
Hmm.
with just
Yeah, I
regular,
noticed that.
yeah, regular white American culture. Which that's not bad, I guess, because it shows like the gap, I guess, between the two cultures and how this guy feels like he's on a different planet, basically. Like he doesn't speak English. Um, and yeah, he feels alone being away from home and his family, and that's something that connected with me as well.
Hmm. You know what's interesting, bro? So I'm a very big like film nerd, and so I watched this movie obviously to prepare for the podcast, but I usually do this regardless. Once I watch a movie, the first thing I do is I hop on IMDb and I try to research the fuck out of it. So I research the directors, the DPs, the actors, and I love looking at like the trivia and the fun facts and all of that. And so what stuck out to me was the directors and writers, which you said wrote Captain Marvel, Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. And they're actually a couple and they met on a film set. And a lot of the movies they do are together, which is cool. But I was always wondering, like, dude, why are they the ones to tell this story? Like, they're white. And it was interesting to me like how much passion they had. Like they care about Dominicans and their struggles as much as like we do, you know, people from the islands. So I don't know, I just wanted to throw that out there, and like I respect the fuck out of that, and it's really, I think that's what storytelling should be. um and this is kind of a tangent, but I wrote a recently like a TV pilot, and it's based in China and stuff like that. And one of the professors I had was like, "Hey, I want you to just be careful because the industry right now is a little bit sensitive." And they would ask you like, "Oh, why are you the one that can write, you know, this Chinese TV pilot?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm a writer. Like that's what I do. That's what we do, right?" So shout out to Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. I know they're listening right now. Nah, I'm playing. They will never find this shit, bro. But like respect to them, bro, because they told an authentic story and they told it very well. So I just wanted to get that out there. If you had anything else to say, I don't know if I cut you off or not, bro.
Yeah, not to go off on a tangent, but there's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it. It came out like a couple years ago that deals with a similar subject matter called The Farewell. Um,
Mm.
about this
Oh, I never
girl.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's about this girl who lives in New York and she's Chinese and finds out that her grandmother has cancer, but the grandma doesn't know.
Shit.
And so the whole family goes to China and wants to spend her last days with her. It's a really good movie, very sweet, and I connected with that one too.
Dope, dope. But yeah, bro, let's see what else I got here for you. All right, this may be a tough question because I I did research, like I said, and the main character, his name in real life is Eugenes Perez Soto. So he's Dominican, full bred. And again, this is why I really respect Ryan and his wife Anna, because when they were doing this movie, they wanted somebody authentic. They wanted a Dominican person, but also they wanted a baseball player who happens to be an actor, and there's not a lot of them on the island. So eventually, they stumbled across Alhanis, and I think out of 242 like interviewers or interviewees, he was the last one, and they're like, "Yo, this is the guy. This is our, this is Sugar. This is Asuka." So, anyways, basically, what I'm trying to say, the question is, if you had to switch out Alhanis for another actor, who would it be? And also, do you think they could pull off the same role? Like, because I think he did a good job, and his acting was very subtle. He didn't need to be over the top. So if you had to replace him with somebody, do you have somebody in mind? And if so, do you think they could live up to the bar that he set?
To be honest, I think he's perfect. Like, I wouldn't replace him with anyone. I think, honestly, because I don't know any other Dominican baseball actors, I think, again.
Me. I'm playing.
Yo, cast Mojo for the sequel. Like, they could have easily, like, casted somebody like The Rock and just be like, hey, pretend you're Dominican because you're brown.
Oh my God, bro. You know how fucking whack that would be?
I would
The
not
Rock
watch
is
that.
Big ass Barry Bonds baseball player. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it out of the park. Shut the fuck up, bro. But nah, I agree with you, bro. Like, I was thinking of this question as well. I don't know if I would replace him either, because what Ryan and Anna said was they wanted somebody subtle. They didn't want somebody that would overreact and do too much. What's interesting, bro, is Alhenis was learning English while getting casted. So he got the role, and his English was not the best. So if you ever go back and watch the movie, you'll see his English is very broken, and he doesn't talk much of it in the movie, but literally that's why, because his English was just whack at the time. And it's interesting because Anna said that communicating with him was a bit of a challenge, but she was the one to do it because she knew Spanish. So she would speak to Alhenis and a lot of the cast in Spanish and direct them, how they wanted to get directed. So I don't know, man. I think this movie is just pretty all around solid, from the casting to the set design. I mean, my favorite thing is the script. The story itself is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that was the best part about his performance, was that it was subtle. There were some times when I would question, like, is he a bad actor, or is he just like,
Me
being
too,
subtle?
bro.
But nah, he did a good job, and you can tell, like, throughout the course of the movie, you can see his English getting better. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that goes back into the story, bro, because the screenwriting was just genius, man. Like, they would introduce something and then follow up and kind of close that circle. And there's a couple examples. First one being the spin curve, or the spike curve, sorry. That the white guy teaches him. He's like, hey, yeah, this is how you throw a spike curve. He tries it and he fucks it up, dude. He throws a horrible pitch. Then throughout the movie, he gets better at it and it becomes one of his best pitches. And it's like, oh, okay, it paid off, They didn't introduce it for no reason. And then something very small as well, like the drawer, when he moves to Iowa with that white family, the Higgins. There's a drawer that's busted, like a kitchen drawer. Eventually, later on, he goes and fixes it. So they introduced that for a reason. And then the French toast scene, which was one of my favorites. So let me set the scene. These Dominican guys get to the States for the first time. They're all playing baseball. They get to a restaurant. One of the Dominicans has been in the States for a couple years. He's been, in the team. His English is pretty good, so he knows what he's doing. They get to the restaurant, and he's like, oh, I'll take French toast. And the waitress is like, okay, perfect. And what'll it be for the four of you gentlemen? Their English sucks. So they're all like,
French
Yeah, we'll
toast.
take the French toast too. And like, so that was the introduction. And then the payoff later was he was learning English, like you said. So he would order French toast every time he went there because he didn't know English enough to order something else. But eventually he's like, yo, let me get eggs. The waitress is like, all right, you want them scrambled? You want them Benedict Arnold or whatever the fuck that shit is called? And then he's like, oh, I don't know. Just get French toast. And then the waiter teaches him and all that stuff later. But like those are the payoffs, bro. And that's script writing 101. Like you introduce something for it to be relevant later on. And they did that throughout the whole movie. And as a script writer, bro, like it was very good. Like I'm very glad they did that. So props, man. Props.
Yeah, that's a very important thing when you're like writing a story is to have the character like evolve and grow. And they did it in a very clever way with the food, having him
Yeah,
learn
so
eggs.
fucking eggs. So now that's a good point, bro. So let me ask you then, do you think this movie was more of like a character study? Because, bro, if you watch the film, he's in 97% of the scenes. Like
Yeah, it's like
there's almost
Joker.
no scene. Yeah, there's almost no scene where he's not in it. So do you consider this like a character study type of film?
I think so. I think personally, I think the character um is more so of like a vehicle for like the idea
Mm,
of like you doing something that you love and it's like fun, but then getting tired of it and doing it over and over and over again like it's a job, and then you just get tired of it
mm.
and you want to like move on and do something else with your life.
Yeah, that's facts. Because you do have a point. Like, it is a bit of a character study, but it's more about the bigger picture. It's showing like sugar is one example of like the thousands of Dominican baseball players that go through his same steps. They have this ambition to be major league star, and then they try to rise through the ranks. It doesn't work out like they thought. They get injured, they get tired, they lose their passion, and they end up being a normal person. And what's fucked up is they're a normal person with very low skills. They don't know much English. They have dedicated most of their lives from when they were a kid up until 18 or 20 to baseball. So they have no education. They have never probably had like a real job. And once, they're kicked out of this farm system, dude, they're almost like what some people thought a lot of slaves were back then. Like, oh, without my master, I'm nobody. But in this scenario, dude, like they have to start from the ground up. Like they're in a really ugly position. And that's why I think this movie is so beast, bro.
Yeah.
Because it shows that. It
And
shows the abuse and like the wear and tear of sports, not just baseball.
exactly. And like a detail that I really liked is that scene towards the end when he leaves the team and his friend like right after his friend gets there and he like waves goodbye to him and he leaves the team for New York. And it's like the friend is taking his place, like he's about to go through that cycle and the same thing is
Yeah.
going to happen to him. And then at the very end when he's playing baseball and the other guy who came before him, he was like, yeah, I was in Iowa too in 2001. I stayed with this family. He's like, the Higgins? Yeah.
Higgins, yeah. Dude, that's actually my favorite scene. Like right after that, where it's like documentary style. They're like, hey, my name is Jose Felipe. I played for the Seattle Mariners or whatever. And they all do it. And it's like, holy shit. That's the proof that there are so many Dominicans just like that have gone through Sugar's footsteps. And it's kind of trippy because they all sort of meet up in this same park, like in the Bronx. So it's just insane, bro. And it's really like it opens your eyes to the world, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely a movie that shows like the lifestyle of like, these Dominican baseball players, like not just one guy, but like, most if not all of them who go through that system of like just being used for their passion, I guess, and like until they're like, you know, bled dry and they're just not passionate anymore. It just becomes a job.
Yeah, bro.
And
And like,
if they don't do good
no,
enough, they
go
just
for it.
get like, you know, dumped off the team.
Yeah, which is horrible, bro. Because like, I can kind of relate to this movie to a degree because I've had a sports background and I know what that pressure is like, bro. Like, you want to do good and you want to blow everybody out of the water, but yo, sometimes you can't, bro. Like, sometimes other dudes are just better than you, or it is what it is, man. Sometimes you get injured, and that's high school, bro. Like after practice, I'd go home. My dad would cook me food. I'd go to sleep in my bed. I don't have bills to pay. I'm chilling. So like, if I suck ass at basketball, it's like whatever. But
Yeah.
bro, this is his livelihood. This is
There's
his family's livelihood. Like, there's so much on the line, and that shit is scary.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's providing for his mom and he makes so little already.
Yeah, bro, and it's insane, bro. Like I said, it really hits home for me because I I'm Dominican, bro, and like I haven't met anybody like Sugar, like trying to go through this baseball stuff. But I'm sure people in my family have been through that scenario for the most part, you know. So I don't know, man. It hits home. It's wild, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I wanted to talk about Algenis again, dude. Algenis Perez Soto, which is a fucking mouthful. And yeah, he plays. By the way, his nickname in the movie is Sugar. That's why the movie's called Sugar, Azúcar in Spanish. And apparently, it's never really like concrete why he got the nickname. He says, "Oh, because my pitches are so sweet." Somebody's like, "No, it's because you like to eat desserts." Ha 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 ha. They clown him, and he's like, "Oh, it's not true." But anyways, so this actor Algenis, dude, he hasn't played many roles. He's had maybe like five acting roles, bro.
Yeah.
And
My bad, go on.
no, no, all I was gonna say was like you mentioned Captain Marvel,
Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna say. He's like
dude,
they put him in there.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised he was in the movie, but then it all made sense. I looked at Captain Marvel. I'm like, oh, Ryan and Anna directed this. That's why he's in it, bro. They probably remembered him and wanted to cast him in the movie because I'm like, dude, he's really had three movies before Captain Marvel, and then suddenly he's in it. I'm like, bro, that makes no sense. They could have gotten literally anybody. They could have gotten me for Captain Marvel. You know why? Why Al Hennis? It's not me being a hater. It's just me being like realistic. But then it all made sense. I'm like, ah, okay. But what were you gonna say about it?
Oh nah, just that like they lifted him up, like, he put in the work. He, did a really good job in Sugar, and, through that connection made it into a big ass Marvel movie.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like, that's the type of thing. I don't think he'll get a spinoff, but bro, it's possible. If he's in the Marvel universe, it's like, dude, at this point, who knows? They're giving shows to everybody, so
Yeah.
we'll see if he has his own little spinoff and like if he starts playing baseball or some shit.
Alien baseball.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Captain Marvel, but I Googled a couple of the clips that he's in. And it's not like one scene. He's like part of Captain Marvel's gang or whatever, and he's there, bro. You can see him. Like this guy,
Yeah.
he's in the movie, bro. He got a payday. Um, yeah, bro. So obviously everybody's obsessed with the Oscars and shit like that. And you know how I feel about awards. Awards are cool, but they don't mean a movie is good or bad. I wanted to ask you if this movie was nominated for Oscars, what do you think it would be nominated for? And do you think it could stand a chance at winning in this category?
Um, I think personally I would like to see Best Picture, but I don't know if that would ever happen. Like it's a good movie to me, but like it just feels like something's missing. Like it doesn't have the
Mm,
big like the scope of these other Oscar movies. Like they just seem like
right.
these big things. Um I think, maybe just a nomination for lead performance, maybe cinematography. Like you said, it kind of looked like a documentary a little bit. Um, what
Mhm.
else? Um, Maybe editing. I think the editing was really good. Like there were some transitions that like went along with the music and like,
Oh yeah, that shit was hot.
he'd throw a pitch and it would like, swipe over to another shot. It's pretty nice.
There's one shot in specific that's hilarious that he's pitching something or not something. He's pitching a fucking baseball and right before it hits the catcher's gloves, cuts to the next scene and the next scene is a plate of rice and beans.
Oh yeah.
And like for me, it just worked, but it was just funny and like I don't know, that's a good cut, you know?
Yeah. Those are like I like um edits like that. They're like creative. They might not make
Yeah,
total sense, but like I don't know, it just works for the story.
it does, bro. And like it's its own type of story because the editing and the scenes, if you notice, are very quick.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they go from scene to scene like super fast. So that's what it is. But hold on one second. Yeah, so if I had to nominate it for an Oscar, I think I would nominate it for best original screenplay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like I don't know if it would win, but I'm telling you, bro, the story is it's high caliber. There's a lot of emotions in it, and every scene has an importance to it. Like I didn't really see one single scene where it could have been left out of the movie, sort of thing. And trust me, there's a lot of baseball scenes and there's a lot of stuff going on. Like the DP killed it in that regard because there are a lot of scenes where they're just in the field and it's like, okay, bro, we've seen this. But he found a way to make it fresh. And I forget his name. It's like Andriy, but he's from the Ukraine and um, Persian or something like that. He's like
Mhm.
Ukrainian and Persian, I believe. Anyways, but he fucking killed it, bro. So how to nominate it for a second Oscar? I think it would be cinematography.
Yeah, cinematography was pretty good. Um
Yeah,
Nothing like amazing, but definitely like solid. I love the opening shot. There's a lot
this
of good
guy just refuted what I said. Got
sh-
nominated for cinematography. Yeah, cinematography was okay.
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, it may not win the Oscar, but like it was good, bro. It was nice.
But
But yeah, bro. What are you gonna say?
like you were saying before about the screenplay, I thought it was good. Uh Dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like we were saying before, it felt authentic, like the way they bantered. Like it just felt like stuff that I've seen before, like visiting my family in Puerto Rico. Like that's how they talk. They like mess with each other, and yeah, it felt
Yeah.
very real.
Yeah, dude, it makes me want to jump into more Dominican films because, I mean, obviously I'm a filmmaker, I'm Dominican, whatever, but I have a desire to put Dominican cinema on the map and just give us more relevance because There are a couple good Dominican movies, but none of them are like internationally known. Maybe one or two are. We don't. People think of Dominican Republic and they think of beaches, baseball, hot women, plátanos, presidente, and I want to add into that list film. I want people to think of cinema when they think of Dominican Republic. It's
Yeah.
not going to be easy, but with movies like this, it gives me hope because we do have talented people. We do have good stories to tell, man. Like, we've gone through a lot of history and all that. So,
Yeah.
definitely, I want to be one of the pioneers for like Dominican cinema and just put us on the map. And I would love to work with other Dominican filmmakers. Like, so if you had a chance to work with like Puerto Rican filmmakers or film in Puerto Rico, like, is that something you would be down with?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to put Puerto Rico on the map and all the Caribbean islands. I don't think there's like too much Latino representation in Hollywood. Like, I think the only Puerto Rican filmmaker I can think of is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he does like mostly musicals and like some stuff with movies. Like he was in that Mary Poppins movie. He's got one coming out called In the Heights. It looks pretty good. And like in terms of
Oh,
actors,
yeah. I saw a trailer for that. That shit looks kind of cool, bro, because there was a lot of Dominican flags and Puerto Rican flags.
yeah. And then like in terms of actors, I think Benicio del Toro is Puerto Rican and maybe Joaquin Phoenix, I think. I don't know.
So, yeah, Del Toro, I'm pretty sure it's Puerto Rican. Joaquin Phoenix was born in Puerto Rico, but I don't know how Puerto Rican he is. I don't know if it was like a military base type of thing.
Yeah,
He's
maybe
Puerto
could be.
Rican, bro. You got claims over him, so.
Dude's a legend.
But yeah, man, he's so good, bro. I fucking love him. Like the Joker, man. Come on, dude. So good. But I wanted to ask you, bro, if you rank Sugar, let's say out of 5 stars, what are you giving it and why?
Um, I think I would give it 4 stars because it connected with me like personally. I think it's like as perfect as you can get with a movie like that. Like it just I don't see too many flaws with the
Right.
movie. It didn't seem perfect like I was saying before. Like it just seemed like something was missing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like some gimmick, I guess, like something that people would like, that something that would direct their attention to it and be like, oh wow, this movie's different. We should check it out, and become like a phenomenon. But it was really good. I think like I feel like this movie is very overlooked. Not too many people know about it.
No, I agree with you, bro, because like I said, I knew about it and I think I've seen a couple clips from it. But I never sat down and was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this shit. But you recommending it was like, yo, let me give it a shot. And it didn't disappoint. I think I would give it the same score. I would give it a 4 out of 5 because it was hot, but it wasn't like, I say this. I don't want to say a masterpiece because that's so fucking cliche, but it definitely was missing some sort of element to make it like super hot. It was hot. It was like flaming hot Cheetos, but it wasn't super spicy. That's a dumbass analogy, but like you know what I'm saying. So I say 4 out of 5. I think it's a solid movie that a lot of people can enjoy, whether you're Dominican, whether you're fucking white from Iowa, like in the movie,
Yeah.
whether you're from Mexico, like you could watch it, you could relate to the struggle and be like, yo, that's a good movie, man. It's about perseverance, it's a tragedy at the same time. It's
Mhm.
reality, bro.
Yeah.
And immigrants go through that type of struggle in one way or another. This one just happens to be, baseball related.
For
So,
sure.
good ass movie, man.
Yeah, it's definitely important. Like, I would recommend everyone to watch it. It's definitely a slower movie. Like, not like Avengers where everything's blowing up all the time, but you got to sit down and like really pay attention.
Yeah, I would say it's more like cinema, I guess.
Yeah. Scorsese would be proud.
Yeah, yo, it's funny you mentioned Scorsese. I was gonna ask you about Tarantino, actually. So, right now I'm reading a Tarantino book. I actually just finished it earlier today, bro. It's a thick book. But it's a Tarantino book about each of his movies except Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because the book was made before the movie. And it's about each of his movies and like his state of mind, what he was going through at the time, inspirations, and just fun facts about the movies and the actors and quotes from them and stuff like that. And reading the book made me appreciate movies more and like want to love them like he does. Cause bro, he's a film fucking nerd. He loves movies so much. He knows movies that me and you can't even find on Google. Like that's how much knowledge this man has.
This dude has seen every single movie ever made.
Bro, he's probably seen our movies like Riddle Me This, When the Sun Meets the Sky, and we just have no idea.
This dude is like constantly watching movies. Oh my god.
Yeah, I really like in When the Sun Meets the Sky, Bro. So anyways, like reading this book of his, it made me realize how old school he is and how he loves the past and wants to pay homage to it and how he's strictly like cinema. He doesn't like call these movies or whatever. He's like, bro, this is cinema, like Scorsese. And he only does movies in what the fuck is it called? Not digital, but in film. He actually does it with film. And so I wanted to ask you, bro, like, and this is not sugar related. When you become, this filmmaker, how much of the past are you willing to, I don't know, introduce into the new age? Like, will you only film on film or will you adapt to the times? Like, this may be a random question, but what are your thoughts about it? Because you mentioned Scorsese, you mentioned Tarantino, and it's kind of where the conversation was going anyways, like this old school cinema. Cool.
Honestly,
school me on that, bro.
I think I would want to, try both because you have like amazing films like Parasite, which was shot digitally. You have like every Tarantino movie, which was shot on film. And like, I love the film look. Like, I also love the digital look because it looks clean and sharp and just nice. But the film look, it has like a texture to it. Like you can see the little grains if you look closely. It's definitely good for shooting like movies set in the past. I think like when I watch movies set in the past that are shot digitally, it looks like a little too clean. Like it looks like it was shot today. And it just kind of takes me out of it. Like shooting on film is definitely better for like historical movies, but I would definitely like to try using both.
That's a fact, bro. Damn, that wasn't my answer, but you actually opened my mind up to that because that's true. I've seen some of these movies that are in the past. They're, in the 80s, 70s, or even like fucking, I don't know, early 1900s. Like, for example, Peaky Blinders. I doubt Peaky Blinders is shot on film because it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I know that's a show and not a movie, but hop off. It's the same shit, people. But in that time period, like, dude, I think Peaky Blinders would have much more of a grainy feel if it was on film, and people would resonate with that. So that's a good example, bro. That's a very good example.
Yeah.
But all right, here's a random question, dude. If you had to, okay, first of all, let me ask you this: would you rather be a screenwriter, director, or an actor? For this example, if you had to choose one.
That's a good question. I think maybe a screenwriter. I think a director gets like all the attention, which a lot of it is deserved because they have a lot. They're basically like the captain of a ship, like they're the leader. they direct the actors and everything that goes on in a movie. And I think actors have like the least power. They have some power, like, you know, in their performance, obviously. But the screenwriters like make the story. Like basically the whole movie rides on them and their story and their writing. And, you know, you can't have a movie without that pretty much. And I think I'd like to do that, to just like have a movie come 100% from me.
Okay, so that has a follow-up question. So, boom, you're a screenwriter. Now the question is, if you had one director and one actor of your choosing, dead or alive, who are you choosing for the script you just wrote?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Tough question, bro. I think about this shit all the time.
Wow.
And like, if, for example, if you want to change up the scenario and be like, all right, I just wrote a Western, I definitely want to get, I don't know, Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood, for example. It's like, okay, that would make sense. Or if you just want to do it generically and be like, yo, I really like Scorsese and I love, I don't know, fucking Algenis Perez Soto, then then put them together.
Dang.
Yeah. If you want a minute to think it over, I think I could give you my answer.
Yeah, give me your answer first. I'll think about it.
Boom. Okay, so man, I'm gonna go in your scenario. Let's say I'm a script writer, right? At the
Hmm.
helms of my project. Oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. Okay. At the helm of my project as the director, I think I would go with Steven Spielberg. And man, now, okay, I'm double guessing myself because my favorite director is Kubrick and my favorite actor is Al Pacino. But I don't know if they would ever work well together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, my other favorite actor is Jack Nicholson. Kubrick and Jack Nicholson made basically my favorite movie, The Shining, one of them. So that works out, but Kubrick and Al Pacino just sounds so random. So I'm gonna go with Steven Spielberg because he's versatile. He does a lot of different type of movies, which is my style. I'm gonna pair him with Al Pacino at the lead. I don't know what type of movie that would be, but I think that would be an instant hit. And I would want it to be a more serious movie, which Steven Spielberg has done later in his career. Um, so that would be fire, bro. That's my choice. I'm writing a script. Steven Spielberg and Al Pacino are my director and actor.
Sounds good. Um, I think,
I call the movie Sex in the City.
bro, that'd be a very different movie.
That shit would suck, bro. Sex in the City, starring Al Pacino, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Bro.
Yeah,
Um,
who you got, bro?
I think for a director, I would pick Brad Bird. He directed some
Oh,
animated
like
movies.
yeah,
Um,
like The Incredibles or
yeah, Incredibles, Iron Giant. And he did a couple live action movies. He did Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and Tomorrowland. And those movies didn't have the best writing. But I think he's a good action director. Like, I feel like J.J. Abrams gets a lot of work, like with Star Wars and everything. And I think Brad Bird is kind of like, you know, following in his footsteps, I guess. I think he wants
Mhm.
to do more animated stuff though, but he's a good action director. I think he should get more live action work. Um, and then to star in my movie, um,
Me.
oh, Mojo Pena.
But no, that's a good choice with Brad Bird, bro. So who you got as the lead actor or actress?
Um, hmm. I think maybe I think Riz Ahmed from The Sound of Metal.
Oh, that's a good choice, bro. He's really underrated. I fucks with him, bro.
Yeah, he was good in that and Nightcrawler. He's good at playing like subtle characters, so
Dude, the way he died in Nightcrawler was so funny. He's like, you shot me? Yeah, I did. Oh, he just died.
um
That shit was funny.
yeah. Oh my god, bro.
That's a
I
good choice, bro.
the only other big action movie he was in I can think of is Rogue One. And he wasn't very good in that, to be honest. Like, he was very manic and, like, he has a high voice and he was
Oh,
talking really fast. But if he just,
bro,
like,
I remember him in Rogue One. Holy shit, I forgot he was in it.
yeah, he's a really good
Yeah.
actor. I think if he, like, just, you know, played his, usual underrated self or his understated self, not be too, like, charismatic. I mean, still, try to bring his best to the table, but um I don't know. I think he could be like a cool like he reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix. Like he's understated, but he's also fucking crazy, bro. like
Mm.
he like he's acting, but at the same time he's very believable. Like it doesn't come across as acting. Like you buy this guy as like actually his character.
Right. So you think he should like pick his roles a little bit wiser so they suit him?
Um yeah. I think the only bad thing he's in is Rogue One though. Like everything else is good, but yeah, I
Mhm.
think he's a good actor and he deserves more roles.
Cool. All right. So basically, you're saying he's got to act better. You heard that, Riz?
Yeah, he fucking sucks.
Act better, man. Do your job better. No, I'm fucking around. But all right, bro. So we're getting close to that 45-minute mark, I believe. So we could wrap this thing up, man. If you have stuck with us this long, you are real. We fucks with you. We don't know if we're gonna do this shit again or not. Honestly, we kind of did this as a test just to have fun. So, hey, this may be our last podcast, guys. So, if
Yeah.
you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe. But honestly, it doesn't fucking matter at this point.
And if you're listening to this, I'm already dead. The FBI has found me.
Oh,
Nah.
whoa, brother! Who the fuck have I been talking to this whole time, man?
Nah. I'm gonna be hiding out in Colombia with a new life. They're just gonna pretend they
God
killed me.
damn, some Hitler shit. Just hiding in Argentina.
um,
But nah,
but
bro. So, go for it. Sorry.
even though this is like a test run, I want to ask before we go, like, um, for the next episode, if we do another episode, what is the next movie you want us to talk about? I want you to pick the next one.
That's facts. That's facts. We'll probably put this on YouTube, so either comment or just hit us up personally, because that's how we're gonna send this video to people, anyways. So definitely let us know, man. But yeah. So with that said, Danny, I just have one last thing that we could do for fun, and that is we could recommend a movie for the people to watch. This could be a favorite movie. This could be a movie you saw recently, and it doesn't have to do anything with sugar. This could be, you know, some movie from like 1920 if you wanted to. So if you had to recommend a movie for people to watch, what would it be?
I would pick Kong versus Godzilla. I think it's a beautiful work of art. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, bro, I was about to say, man. Promise you, I'm like, okay, he's gonna say his little shit about Kong versus whoever, and I wasn't gonna shit on you, but I was gonna be like, bro, respectfully,
I
you're wrong. I
disagree.
disagree. That shit is trash, bro. Do not go and see Kong versus Godzilla for the love of God. Do not waste your time. It's fucking garbage, bro. Please.
Yeah. Um, but for real, a movie I would recommend. Uh, Dang, I don't know. Is there one that you wanted to recommend so I could think again?
Man, okay, so I'll do two movies. I'll do two of them. All right. The first one is always one of my favorites, and it's Cinema Paradise. And this movie is a little bit long. It's 3 hours, but it's so fucking worth it because if you're a film lover like us, it's basically about movies, but it takes place in Italy in the 1900s, like maybe 1940 or something like that. And it's about this kid, and we see him grow up in the movie, and he loves movies. He gets into them, and he becomes friends with an old guy who's the film projectionist at the movie theater. So he sneaks in, and he learns the craft from this guy. And in the movie, he goes on to make movies in Hollywood, which is dope. But, he goes through adult shit, and he wants to come back home, and he remembers his past. So as he's remembering his past, it's like a flashback, and we travel with him, and it's just such a beautiful movie. And you have to see it before you die, honestly. Like, you have to experience. It's called Cinema Paradise.
So I gotta watch it tomorrow.
And it was made in 1988. Cinema Paradise. Please watch that. And fuck it, I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. The other movie I was gonna recommend is called The Apartment, and it's with this guy Don Lemon, I think is his name.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, Jack Lemmon. Sorry, Jack Lemmon. It was
Oh,
made in
yeah.
1960. It's a good little flick, man. It's a good little black and white movie, and the story's good. So those are my two recommendations, bro, and I like them a lot. The Apartment and Cinema Paradise. Please go and watch Cinema Paradise. If you don't, good luck, man. I'm gonna show up to your fucking door. Nah, I'm playing.
Oh my god. Yeah, Cinema Paradise is a good movie. I haven't seen The Apartment yet. I gotta watch that. So this is probably cheating because I brought it up earlier in the podcast, but I think The Farewell is very good. Also,
Oh, thank God. I'm sorry to cut you off. I thought you were gonna say Captain Marvel.
oh my
I'm
god,
like,
no.
bro, Danny, please, man. Sorry,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Keep talking, bro. My bad.
I think it's a good one to recommend for this episode because it fits with the theme of with Sugar being far away from home, from your family. It's about a girl in New York and finds out her grandma has cancer and she's dying. And so she goes to China with her parents, and so their whole family's there, and they try to have like the best time possible with their grandma for her final days. It's basically them just hanging out. It shows like the struggle that the girl has to go through, keeping that secret from her grandma. And yeah, it's definitely like real in the sense like it's hard to like, go back to your life, when you know that you have family. And yeah, it's a very good film. Came out a couple years ago, so not an old one. Definitely check that out. That's my recommendation.
That, bro. So that's a wrap on the car ride home, and perfect timing. We just got back home, dude. This is perfect.
Oh man, I was gonna say like, oh no, we're about to crash. Could add like
Yeah,
a
we're
crash
just-
sound effect.
Oh fuck, like Stan.
Yeah.
Podcast. Oh wait, we forgot. How the fuck we supposed to send this shit out? Nah, it's been real. We appreciate you guys for listening. Whoever you are, we fucks with you. And maybe we'll see you on the next one. So again, this has been the car ride home. I'm your driver, Mojo.
I'm your Uber passenger, Daniel.
And we'll check you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.